everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week we're going to be talking about body handling, i.e. petting your dog or touching your dog on different areas of their body. As people, we like to pet our dogs. It's something that we see as an affiliative, friendly behavior. You guys come home from work, give your dog a scratch on the belly, a scratch on the head as you walk by. We see it as a friendly gesture. It's also something that has been proven to decrease our stress as humans. If you guys have a long, hard day at work and you come home and pet your dog for a couple minutes, it's been proven to decrease our stress levels just by doing that action as well. Now, our dogs can have different opinions about it. There are absolutely dogs out there that you can touch them anywhere on their body and they have a great time with it. But there are also a good number of dogs that are really uncomfortable with you touching them in certain areas of their body, or if you pet them in a certain situation. Now, take Wrigley for example. She really honestly enjoys being pet when we're not doing a training session. But if I try to do any sort of training with her when I have treats on me and she knows that's her reward, or a toy, then that's her reward, she does not see petting as a reward in this situation here. Now, I want to make it pretty clear too that just because your dog is maybe a little bit uncomfortable with petting either in a certain area of their body or in certain settings does not mean that they don't love you, okay? Your dog absolutely loves you. Please don't get discouraged at all if your dog is showing you any of the signs that you're kind of seeing from Wrigley here, or to a more extreme or minor degree than we're seeing in this video here. My dog trusts me. The only reason she's hanging out through this uncomfortable process for her is because she knows I'm not going to hurt her. She absolutely trusts me and she loves me. So I want to throw that out there, okay? Don't get disappointed. I know it can kind of hurt a little bit when your dog turns away from you when you're just trying to love on them, okay? But I'm going to show you guys how to kind of alleviate that stress in your dog through this process. So what does it look like when your dog is uncomfortable with petting? Here's a really good example. Wrigley's entire body is really stiff and still. She's not very wiggly. She's not very loose. Okay, her tail is down. Her ears are tucked back. She's giving me a lot of lip licking. Okay, lip licking is a clear sign of stress in dogs that we tend to miss a lot. She's really following my hand back and watching every motion that I'm doing. She's just tolerating this whole situation right now because she trusts me. Now, if I were somebody that she didn't trust as much, she might choose to walk away from this situation or do something a little bit more overt to tell me to back off. Okay, so this is a really good example of a dog that is clearly not enjoying what's happening at the current moment. Now, right there, I shifted into grabbing a treat. You saw her body language completely change. Her ears went up, her tail started to wag, and now she's a little bit more interested. Wrigley sees food as a reward in a training session. She does not see petting as a reward. It is clearly not something that she enjoys happening to her. So the whole purpose of today's video is to show you guys that you can actually change this in your dog over time. All we're doing here is changing Wrigley's emotional opinion about being pet during a training session. So what I'm doing, it's a very, very simple thing to do with your dog, okay? All I'm doing is I'm reaching my hand out towards her, saying yes, and then reaching in my treat bag, giving her a treat. So the petting becomes a predictor of nice things coming. Over time, what's going to happen with this is Wrigley is going to start having happier feelings about being pet because we've paired it with something that she already sees as very, very positive. So a really good example that I like to use to relate this to people is imagine yourself walking downtown and some random dude walks up to you and gives you a big old bear hug and then just walks away. Okay, and what if that just kept happening to you? Every time you go downtown, some dude shows up and gives you a random hug. And maybe it's different people giving you random hugs. Over time, you're going to start to get really paranoid about going downtown in the first place. And if you're finding yourself downtown, you're going to be watching, scanning the environment for those random people that come up and hug you. That for most people would throw them off and not be super comfortable. Now, take that situation and apply it to the behavior training that we're doing right here. What if that person came up to you, gave you a big old bear hug, and then immediately gave you $500? Okay, that was a really uncomfortable situation. I'd prefer that didn't happen to me. However, I got something really good out of it. Now, what if that kept happening? Every time someone came up to you and gave you a bear hug and followed it with $500, what's going to happen is over time, you still are going to be very uncomfortable about that, but you're going to start to feel better about it because you're getting something nice that we see as value to us. It's the exact same thing we're doing with our dogs here. It's something that Wrigley finds a little bit uncomfortable, but over time, she's going to start to change her emotions about it because we're pairing it with something that she sees as really, really good. So that being said, when you guys are doing this exercise, I would use something that's very high value for your dogs. So kibble is kind of like 5 cents. Bacon, steak, cheese, that stuff is like the $500 to our dogs. We want to pay them off for doing this uncomfortable behavior for us. So as you see me progressing here, I'm actually progressing to doing a single stroke on Wrigley, where I started out with just reaching towards her. I've advanced to, okay, I'm going to move down your leg, I'm going to go over top your head, on your muzzle, down your side, different areas of her body. And I'm just doing this same conditioning. Okay, you can clearly see she's still very uncomfortable about it, but I'm taking it at her speed too. I'm doing this completely off leash. I want you guys to do it off leash at home so your dogs have the option to walk away. We do not want to put them on leash and then make them feel trapped. That can lead to a very, very bad and potentially dangerous situation for you both. If your dog feels trapped, there's only one other option that way. So we want to give our dogs freedom, the freedom to move. I'm actually tossing in a couple easy ready find its away from me. That's a really good guide as well. If you guys occasionally toss a treat away from you, does your dog come back to you after that? You saw Wrigley bound back to me. That's a good tell for me to know, okay, she's still wanting to engage with me. If I were to toss that treat away and she walks away from me, I would take that as okay. She's had enough. We'll end the training session right there. Here I'm switching up my positioning a little bit, okay, just to make it a different situation, different setting for her. All right, she's still clearly very uncomfortable with this. But all you guys are going to do, once again, is you're going to reach out, pet your dog just once, immediately say yes, and then give them a treat. Pet your dog, yes, give them a treat. So the only reason I'm not using the clicker in this one, you guys, is because I don't want to click right next to Wrigley's head. If I had the clicker in the hand that I'm touching her with, one, it can kind of scare some dogs with making a rattling noise right by them as it moves around in your hand, and also I don't want to startle her by clicking right next to her head. So I'm switching to a softer verbal marker cue, kind of sets her at ease a little bit more. Here I'm actually getting towards the end of my training session with Wrigley. I'm interspersing a lot more ready find it treats away from me to take that pressure off of her, and I'm actually rewarding her for coming back to me as well, for choosing to participate again with me. Now if she again were to walk off, I'd take that as okay, she's had enough, she's done. I'm not going to require her to stay with me and come back. But you see me definitely decreasing on the amount that I'm actually touching her and working with that part of it, and increasing the amount that I'm tossing food away. This is definitely something that you guys want to keep short and sweet with your dogs at home. Anywhere between 30 seconds and a minute or two is plenty of time, especially for the dogs that are very uncomfortable with it. I'd keep it very, very short. Do it often. You know, if you can try to do it a couple times a day with your dog, 30-second bursts, that's going to be really awesome. And then ending your training session, guys, with something fun that your dog finds enjoying. I don't want them to walk away from this training exercise feeling like, oh God, that was so stressful, and I just am left feeling very stressed. Okay, ending your game with your dog's favorite tricks can be really fun for them. Playing find it games with them, getting them excited again to work with you is a really great way to end a session like this. I also wanted to point out how much happier Wrigley looks now that I'm just using food as a reward for her. She's happy to work for me. She clearly in this situation sees the food as more of a reward, like I said, and she's having a good time doing all of her tricks for me. She's wagging her tail, her ears are up, she's excited to engage with me. So like I said earlier, you guys, it's totally situation dependent. It does not mean that your dog does not love you if they don't like petting all the time. I actually recommend to a lot of my my clients not to pet their dogs while they're doing training with them, just because most dogs do not see it as a reward in a training setting. Here I've switched over to a little toy with Wrigley. She really likes tug. I use toys frequently for training with her as well. She sees that as reinforcing. Again, complete shift in body language. She's all wiggly and happy now, as opposed to what you guys were seeing earlier. I do hope this video was helpful for some of you out there. Really take your time with it. Changing someone's emotions about something can take a really long time. It's the exact same in our dogs. So just go at your dog's pace, work with them with it, and remember to end it on a positive note with your dog, having a good time, okay? I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Happy training.